Give me a moment. I'm working on the proper microphone. So let's start this again. Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope all is good. So what's good? What's good? What's good? Peter D, Paula, Bollywood Hits Hub, Perspicacious, Hutanic, and Paula Mortimer, and N Cornish and Greg Log. How are you all? What's good? What's good? What's good? So let's start over again. So what I've noticed is that most people only pay attention to what's going on at the tail end of the week because usually so much happens throughout the week that you totally forget about what's going on at the beginning. And I do the Sunday Roundup because that's my day to kind of look back and reflect. And I've been reflecting a lot, and I'm going to need your help. So I'm going to reach out to all of you because I'm going to need your help. This week's key themes: regulatory updates and legal developments, strategic partnerships and expansions, technological advancements and innovations in blockchain, same thing for NFT gaming and Web3, corporate strategy and workforce decreases. We're calling it workforce adjustments, but when you adjust your workforce, that's usually a down, and it has been. We've got security breaches and fraud. We've got market trends and institutional investments. We said that already. And so there were 7 specific areas where all the news fell into this week. And it's pretty much those same specific areas that we'd be looking at if we were to do a year-end kind of roundup. Now, I asked that question because I happen to look at the database today of how many articles we have. Thank you, everybody, for letting me know I did not have sound before. By the way, thank you, thank you, thank you. What I noticed is we've got, since I started doing all the shows and everything, we've got about 42, almost 4,300 articles published. 4,300 articles. That's not including all of the additional content that we've done. I'm just talking off the shows that I've done, things like that. Almost 4,300 articles. And you could split that up between almost 3 years, right? So what I'm thinking about doing is creating either a year-end book or a year in retrospect book. Either way, it would be 2024. Jared, what's good? So I'm thinking about that, and I want you guys to give me an opinion. As a matter of fact, we should do that as a poll over on YouTube because I can't do that stuff on Instagram. So the question is, should I do a year-end look back of everything that's happened, and obviously that's going to be all of the articles that I've done, and this is a straight up yes, no, and you know what, I'll add an other just in case somebody has a different idea. And as always on YouTube, if you have an idea, if you select other, put it in the chat so I can actually see what we've got going on. I normally do not do polls on Sunday. Captain Banana in his house. But yeah, there's been so much that's happened over the past year that I'm kind of like, damn, maybe we should release something that gives you a look back over the whole year. I've been looking for something like that for the past couple of years, and I have never seen it. I've never seen it, and it's not a regurgitation of all the articles. It's let's take the most popular categories that we have, go through all of my articles, and kind of look at what's the thread, right? So if I'm looking at, regulatory compliance, what's been the common thread in regulatory compliance? What's been the common thread in innovation? If there have been purchases or things like that, been controversies, how has all of that played out over a given time period? That's kind of what I'm looking at. So I want to know your opinion on, whether or not we should do that. Because I find it to be very interesting, right? It kind of goes along with the whole crypto foundations thing where you know, I'm not going to give you a tome that's like this thick of all of the articles that we've written. I'm going to more like condense it and be like, okay, so here's kind of what's happened in this area, in this area, in this area, and kind of give you a synopsis based on time frame and roadmap as to what's happened since then. So VWDCS, what's good? Mr. Big, what's going on? Other, it happened. Let old dogs rest, move on and learn. See, I don't think you move on and learn. I think that's my problem, is that most people want to leave what happened in the past, but you shouldn't really do that, because those who do not learn from their past are destined to repeat it, right? So it's kind of like, well, what happened over the past year? Who bought who invested in what? Where are they now? You know, like you saw dogs come out, you saw Pump.Fun happen, you saw Sun Pump happen, you saw all of these different projects pop up, go away. You've had, you know, breaches and phishing attacks and exploits, you know, just to cover that area. So you've also had a lot of research done. You've had a lot of investment happen. You've had a lot of innovation happen. You've had, you know, huge advancements in AI. There are a whole bunch of things that I look at and I kind of say, those things are going to affect what we do going forward. Like, no doubt. No doubt. If I look at, you know, something like dogs, but what happened in the meme coin area to begin with, right? Over what were the percentages? Most people don't realize that greater than 50% of the meme coins that are out there just went happens all the time. And you sit there and you're kind of like, damn, maybe I should have paid attention to that before I bought some of these memes. Maybe I should have done a little bit more research before I, you know, dip my toe in. Because you might say, I'm only putting a little bit in these memes. I'm only putting a little bit. But then you realize every time you put a little bit, it adds up. So I'm just saying, hey, Bianca, how are you? If you added Cardano news, you could double your coverage. I have no reason to do that. I've got you. I don't need to add Cardano news. Cardano news consists of, you know, what are the key points? But all of the projects have key events that have happened in their projects. What makes Cardano any different than any one of those other projects? It doesn't. So I hear what you're saying, but that would be like, what, thousands of projects that we'd have to pay attention to. I barely pay attention to the top 250, you know, projects that are out there. It's tough enough. Right. So I'm not going. There's no way in the world that I'm going to key in on a specific topic. That's no bueno. But I would bring up Cardano in terms of what projects had key innovations that open up to other areas, right? And there have not been a lot, and that's different. So, what projects would fall into that same category as Cardano? Not many. Less than 10. I would say less than 10. Right? So would I talk about Cardano specifically? Probably not. Would I talk about things like Cardano? Probably. John Babu Carr. I know I'm mispronouncing that. I'm just going to call you. Oh, it's Joe M. Oh, man. Just hello. How's that? Just hello. And then we have, who else was over here? Oh, you're making jokes. I was taking it serious, man. And where's Patient One? So retrospective, biggest markers of change in 2024. There are so many places we could go with doing a retrospective of 2024. When I first had the idea was 2022, and I didn't have enough content. Then 2023 came, and we were just too busy, you know, trying to bang stuff out. Then 2024 happened, and I'm kind of like, you know, we've got a lot of content just for these 365 days. We've got a lot of content, and I'm kind of like, damn, we should probably do it. You know, one of the things that I look at is, you know, all of that research that's happened. All of the conversations that we've had, all jokes aside, but I wasn't kidding when I was talking about Cardano. Would I call out Cardano specifically? Only a little bit, but what innovations have they introduced? for themselves to grow as a project? A lot. What innovations do they have coming up that's going to do the same thing? A lot. Then you look at the same kind of level for XRP, Chainlink. Like I said, that group of projects that have done something significantly to either alter crypto as a whole or put them in another realm, that list is small. So that's something, and I would look at that as like innovation, right? What are the partnerships that happened? A lot of people are going to forget about the partnerships that have happened, that have been leveraged. It's insane. It's nuts. But yeah, I'm kind of like, there's a lot. So yeah, Hutanik, you're making jokes, but hard not to take that seriously, right? Because Cardano has done a lot of, like, I could use Cardano as a measuring stick against everybody else. Seriously. Think about everything that Cardano has done. You could literally use Cardano as a measuring stick against everybody else. One of the other coins that I would look at actually is SHIB. Building out a whole ecosystem, that's a long jump from stupid coin, cute name, growing up to becoming a meme, and now growing up to be a utility project. Big steps. What was different in 2024 compared to before would be a good theme for the retrospective. Peter D, you hate me. You hate me. Here's why I say so. That would mean that I would have to not only dig into 2024, but I would also have to dig into 2023. And think about what happened in 2023. There's a lot. That goal is a hard one. The things that are happening are exponential each year. 4 years ago, covering the news was much easier. Oh my God, you are so correct. 8 years ago, hardly any news. It was so underground 8 years ago. It was still so underground. And the key players that you have now, it's just changed so much. But you're exactly right. Comparing, the past 4 years to the previous 4 years, looking at this year, looking at last year, the comparisons are, just insane. Dude, Peter, ETFs alone, seriously, oh my God. The double talk from JP Morgan that could be a topic in and of itself. You ever think about that? It could be a topic in and of itself. Just what's going on, crypto bad, JP Morgan good. But you have JP coin, right? You do have JP coin, right? Oh, okay. Just checking. And a great comparison would be the comparison between JP coin and Benji over at Franklin Templeton. Would it not? Because Benji, what they're doing with Benji is saying, yeah, we're using Benji. You should use Benji too. That's not what JP Morgan's doing. So there are just so many places where we could go with things. It's almost as if I want to go through all of my content, all of our content, and say, well, what were the big buckets that were there? And let's split up each one of those buckets and look at that timeline for each one of those buckets. What were the key, what were the salient points for each one of those buckets? And you're going to come up with a list like that. I mean, if I look at regulatory updates and legal developments, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 just for today. Well, just over this past week. Times 52. See what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. But you'd have a real clear picture of, well, what's going on over the past year, right? It's a stamp in time, just what's going on. What you do with that information is what you do with it, but you'd have what's the stamp in time. So it's interesting, at least to me. So I'm thinking about it. I'm definitely thinking about it. Oh, that's definitely not a phone call for me. Ha ha ha. Comparisons show the forces. Oh no, I know, I understand but the amount of research that has to happen, just the amount of research that has to happen, the common threads are what I'd be looking for. Like there's so much going on in the space, or that has happened in the space, that I'm just kind of like, just off the data that we have, just looking at that snapshot of 1 year, everything that's happened, that in and of itself would be interesting, in my humble opinion. So I'm thinking about that, and it looks like it's not a. Well, let me take a look. Let's see. We've had 6 votes so far. 2 people said other. One person's like basically no. So it's not other. It's either yes, no, or other. And if it's other, then what would you have me do? And a no is a no, right? Leave Mr. Big. Leave it in. Other is not leave it in the past. Other is no. Your other is no. So I'm going to count that as a no. So yes, 67%. Other was 33%, but then you got to put Mr. Big in the no category. You hurt my feelings. So there's a lot. Griff poll was good. So that's something that I kind of wanted to look at. And by the way, Bollywood Hits Club, thank you for speaking up today. I don't think I've ever seen you before. I'm just curious to see. Yeah, that was it. Today's your first time. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the community. So there's a lot. Yeah, Mr. Big's just busting my chops the same way Hutanic was. But Hutanic, the reason why it was hard to take yours as a joke is because a lot has gone on with Cardano. Like a lot, and it's the thing that bothers me about Cardano is, yes, a lot has happened, but the good stuff hasn't even come yet. Right? The good stuff hasn't even come yet. That was all just laying the groundwork for the good stuff. So I could see, for a lot of coins out there, a lot of projects out there, I could see a lot of deals going on. I think the biggest deal makers, in my humble opinion, I'm talking about deals, like people truly coming out, institutions coming out and leveraging their tech. Because there's the institutional side, and then there's the retail side. And looking at the projects and coins and tokens that are out there, and looking at to say, well, these are the ones that I think have a lot of deals going on. Like, imagine going back to my notes and saying, how many deals does Chainlink have right now? Swift, a whole bunch of banks. You know what I mean? Now they're signing on, to this whole scale program. They're signing on a whole bunch of projects now, other coins. There's a lot. There's a lot. And then even then, comparing Pith Network to Chainlink, so there's a lot. So I'm seriously considering that, and if I do it, I would probably publish something like January, February timeframe, and do it as a retrospective, because I don't want to do a year-end one, because then you miss everything that happens in December, and I'm not going to like that, right? So maybe do something as a retrospective for the year, and then do it every year. What do you guys think about that one? We are standing on the threshold of macro changes, or biggest changes as yep. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Let me read it. We are standing on the threshold of macro changes that are as big as changes after WW1, World War I. Yeah. BRICS is one, right? You have new alliances that have formed, and old alliances that have been broken, just from a politics perspective, from a global political perspective. You have new blocks that are here now. So when I look at BRICS, I'm kind of like, yeah, BRICS and the UN. Like, most people won't look at it like that, but if you think about what BRICS is trying to do, you have BRICS and you have the UN. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to unpack. Macro events, having the ability to look back at even just the macro events over the past year, and then what's expected over the coming year, even that's big. So yeah, I mean, think about it. If you look at just this past week, and I'll just blurt it all out. Regulatory updates and legal developments. Robinhood introduces Dogecoin transfers with a 1% deposit bonus. US DOJ charges Gotbit CEO with fraud and market manipulation. 21 shares and Bitwise file applications for XRP ETFs. SEC as institutional demand for with the SEC just to match institutional demand. South Korea's crypto activity surges. That was a big news. U.S. Treasury suggests replacing private stablecoins with a CBDC. That was huge. Most people aren't thinking about it, but that was huge. And Ripple and the SEC continue the legal battle. However, you have the judge saying, you people better sit down and talk before all this stuff happens starting January 15th. I advise you people to show me that you have actually sat down to talk. That right there says a lot. BSV Banton. Hi, this is my first time talking. However, I've been listening to your stuff for a few weeks now. I'd like to know what you think about BSV, their partnership with. Okay, so I'm not going to read any more of that because that sounds like it sounds like shilling. Just take your name and what you're asking about. That really sounds like shilling a project to me. Maybe if you were a big bagger, we could have a discussion about it, because then I'd understand that you're not actually shilling. You're actually trying to have an understanding. But that doesn't read to me like an understanding. That reads to me like shilling. And you guys, the rest of the community, can let me know if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, then I will gladly talk about it. But if I'm not wrong, I'm going to leave it alone. BRICS has the cheap labor and the natural resources G7 needs. Yep. Thank you, Hutanic. But my question to you is going to be, like, does it sound like a shill? Because it sounds like a shill to me, and I could be wrong. And I know I've come down hard on people, including yourself, when I think something feels like a shill. Okay, you say you're not shilling. All right, so by your name, you sound like you're big on BSV. My question is, I have a couple of rules before I'll even talk about a coin. What's its market cap? What is it all about? And what's its CMC rank? Those are the three things that I have to have before I can answer a question like that. Give me those three things. It's a quick search, and we can dig in. But so I hit the 6 things that fell under regulatory updates. Strategic partnerships. This one is huge. Like, I can't even tell you guys how big this is. Crypto.com acquires U.S. broker-dealer Watchdog Capital. Allow that to wash over yourself for a minute and think about that. And I'll read it again. Crypto.com acquires a U.S. broker-dealer. Like, damn. That's a big strategic move. To me, that's a huge strategic move. Chainlink signs up Tron to join their scale program. That'll give everybody developing on Tron and that Tron ecosystem to have access to Chainlink's Oracle information. If you don't tell me that's big, I'm gonna question what you're talking about. OKX collaborates with Standard Chartered. That's something that's big. BlackRock increases Bitcoin holdings, right? But that's not a partnership in my humble opinion. But it does reinforce that between all of them, I think all the ETFs, they're at like 3.5% of circulating supply. That's not small. That's not small at all. Technological advancements. What was a technological advancement? Chainlink's runtime environment to me was kind of big. Fetch AI's network upgrade with Kudos is kind of big because you can see where they're going with it and what they can do with it. Let's see. Just interesting to me. Give me a moment. I need to ask somebody to turn their voice down a little bit there. All righty. So, what else do we have? Market trends. MicroStrategy plans $42 billion, $14 billion a year in Bitcoin purchases over the next 3 years. They didn't just, and here, this is what gets me, is that they didn't just, he didn't just come out and say, we want to go get $42 billion and this is what we plan on doing it. It's like, no, we actually have a plan of action to go get $42 billion over the next 3 years, averaging about $14 billion to purchase Bitcoin for those 3 years. And then what else do you have? You have Microsoft voting. They've already opened up the votes, voting process. So you have Microsoft voting on whether or not they should, get into Bitcoin. What's significant about that, and I had a tirade about this last week, what's significant about that is Microsoft's sitting on a lot of money. A lot of money. They could cut a check like that and not miss it. Not miss it. But they could cut a big check and just say, okay, so we got into Bitcoin, a big check. And I'm not talking like 1 billion, 2 billion. I'm talking like they could do double-digit billions and nobody would even question it. If they get the vote for yes, a double-digit check would be nothing to them. So you've got to think about what would be the impact of Microsoft purchasing even $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. What would that do to the market? Then bump that up to 2 billion, and then bump that up to the possibility that if the answer is yes, could they do double digits? Could they just say, okay, great, so we're going to do it. It'll be over this span period, this period of time, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, while we do it, we're also going to accept crypto as payment. Because how far away would that be? Aha. So yeah, that not just a little thing, that's a big thing. That is a big, big, big thing. Oh, this is a good conversation that's going on between Hutenik and BSV Banton. BSV Banton, just so you understand, we have junior baggers, and big baggers. Hutenik is one of those big baggers. And a big bagger is not somebody that's holding on to a lot of money in crypto. It's a person that's holding on to wanting to grow to a lot of money in Bitcoin, meaning they're deep into it. They're doing all the research. They're taking part in things. They're really involved. It's your level of involvement, level of interest, and your interest in becoming more educated in the space. And just so you know, Perspicacious, as you know him as, is a big bagger. So having a conversation with him is a great thing. It's a great thing. Any one of the big baggers. You know who I'm not seeing right now is Joaquin, which is odd. There are a few people that I would expect to see today that I'm not seeing. And Captain Banana, you're awfully quiet. Now I've got to scroll through to see if I've missed any comments, questions, things like that. Scrolling down. Mr. Big, I saw your comment earlier this week about Immutable. Yeah, I saw that comment. Thank you for that. Because I missed it. I missed you making a comment here. I'm going to use your screen name because not everybody's going to know who you are. So Rod, can you name 2 projects that you think are dead? No, because it has no bearing on my bag. As I don't think it has any bearing on anybody else's bag. So I don't track things that die unless I'm holding on to those bags. I would rely on the community to say, oh, I invested in this and it died. Like a couple of years ago, my son and I invested, I think it was like, I want to say $250 on Saitama and it died. It's a freaking rug pull. 250, something like that. It's no more than 250 that we put into it, and it died. And we were kind of like, okay, well, lesson learned. It happens. Not everything is perfect. Sounded great. We were trying to catch something early. Got burned. Caught a few other things early though. You're gonna. It's sort of like venture capital. I'm going to invest in 10 companies, and I expect to hit with one. Thoughts on H bar? I have a bag of H bar. Feel me? It's easy I can get. What else do we have? We have security breaches. So that 1-inch security breach, more like an exploit. Is more like an exploit. Everybody who has a ledger got hit with it. All right, got hit with notice that, hey, we're stopping that for a little while until they fix their stuff, and then we'll turn it back on. Market trends. Besides the 42 billion with MicroStrategy, Robinhood takes a hit, but 165% rise on their crypto book. So stock action, but crypto, and that's big for the quarter. For the quarter, right? That's what they were reporting on. So that's big. Van Eck and Kiln launched a Solana staking initiative for institutional investors. I believe that was in Europe, but still big. Van Eck and Kiln, that's big. Kiln is a big staking company. One of those big boys in the space, big companies in the space rather. So that was big. Chainlink's collaboration with Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR, and their adoption of CCIP, cross-chain interoperability protocol, on Hedera to contribute to Link's price rally. That's exactly what it did. But it really opens up HBAR to leveraging, Chainlink. And I want you to think about this. That whole CCIP part of it is their link to, or is Swift's link to crypto, right? So banks to crypto, that link is there. HBAR is an ISO 222 compliant coin. So there's a big link there. So yeah, paying attention. I'm not sure, however, they use ASICs mining. I guess it's depend on what you think decentralized. From what I understand, so think about what that last statement says, BSV Banton. They followed the Bitcoin white paper to the letter. Had they done that, then it would just be Bitcoin. Right? So aside from the technical questions that Perspicacious is asking you, my question is going to be, so why would I be involved? What is BSV doing as a project that I can't do with other coins? If they followed the Bitcoin white paper to the letter, I already have Bitcoin, so that's a fail for me, right? So because I'm going to stay with Bitcoin. They have smart contracts. There are plenty of other platforms that have smart contracts that are faster, that do more, that just have more going on. So that would be a fail to me. What's its number one use case? And if it's, well, we're better than Bitcoin, right? So same thing with BCH, with Bitcoin Cash. The difference for me with Bitcoin Cash is it gets used. It gets used. And I'm just not seeing that level of usage with BSV. And if I compared BSV to Bitcoin Cash, I think I'm going to make more money with Bitcoin Cash than I would BSV. And that's aside from all the technical stuff that Hutanik is asking you, or Perspicacious is asking you. So yeah, I'd have a problem with that. dollars in CBDC. I just read that. Hootanic, that was good. That's actually really good. The reason why I say so is because if you stop and you think about what's going on with the Treasury saying that they prefer a CBDC over stable coins, dumb as dirt. The statement alone is dumb as dirt. But even if I let that go, it's not going to happen. The rebellion that would happen would be tremendous. Like, nobody wants it. Nobody wants, at least in the US, nobody in the US wants a US CBDC. Institutions don't want it. Retail doesn't. Nobody wants it except for the government. Now, that alone should make you scratch your freaking head. Think about that. Nobody's going to go for that. Companies would rather pay their people in freaking Bitcoin. Pick a coin. They'd rather pay their people in Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Polygon. Just name a Cardano. Name a flipping coin. They'd rather pay their people in that than ever have to pay them in a CBDC. Nobody wants that. Number one group that doesn't want that? Banks. Banks don't want that. Nope. No, sir. No, sir. You can keep that. Janet Yellen, I don't know what you were smoking, but whatever it was, smoking or drinking, whatever it was, sniffing, hate to think you're shooting up. I mean, because whatever it is, we need to package that. That's just a straight up insane statement. Now, I want you guys to think about this in terms of retrospect. How many of you guys remembered that comment, that one comment from the Treasury? Or did you forget about it and just left it in the past? Right, Mr. Big? He's gonna hit me. He's gonna invite me out to the ranch and then break my back with all the work he needs help with. That's what he's gonna do. But seriously, how many of you guys remembered that statement from Janet Yellen? Again, the only group, and I wouldn't even say group, the only entity that wants that is the United States government, but nobody else wants it. Nobody else wants it. And the United States is not in a position to say, well, if you don't do the CBDC, if you don't do the CBDC, well, we're not supporting the dollar. We're only going to support CBDC. Well, that wouldn't work. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but if you're going to move to a CBDC and move away from the physical dollar, does that also mean you're going to try to get rid of your debt? Is that something that you're considering? Because that wouldn't be insane. It's happened before, right? When we moved away from gold, we walked away from a lot of debt. If Glassnode shows the most of the supply is in a few wallets, then no. If the wallet's liquidity is spread out, then that looks decentralized. Yeah, your decentralization is going to be a big deal, but I'm still looking for use case. Yeah, I didn't know that because they screwed up and there was a problem. So yeah, they had to do a fork. So yeah, I did know that. The soft fork happened with Segwit. Yeah. BSV Banton. Again, I'm still waiting for what's the use case. What's the use case for BSV that other coins can't do or BSV does better? What is that? Like, I don't even have to walk down the technical road. What's their use case? That's why it's one of the three questions that I asked. Well, what do they do? What do they do that somebody else can't do? Or they do it better. What is it? I haven't heard that argument yet. So 1inch had a problem. There was an AI. There was something out there that was doing an. Aaron, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I have your email address, don't I? I'm pretty sure I have your email address. Do me a favor. If I've sent you an email, shoot one back to me to confirm to me that I have your email address, because clearly you're a big bagger. Let me see. What else do we have? Former Citibank. Former Citibank banker Juan Velez pleads guilty to theft from an elderly customer. It was $166,000. How did the system break down? Where did the system break down? That's a major problem. You know, over the past couple of weeks, banks have had problems. Big, big, big problems. Huge. So, yeah, I'm thinking about that. I'm really thinking about that. I'm also, man, you know, it'd be interesting just to go through all the articles that I've written that mention the SEC and then cherry pick everything that mentions the SEC where the SEC has taken action and pull those out and be like, boom. That's kind of cool. Big baggers for you guys and gals. I think, don't hold me to it, but I think by the next meeting, which should be, we should schedule it for 2 weeks from today. That I should be able to show you guys some stuff. I've got giggles. We might be able to see stuff. Thank you, Captain Banana, because I was about to send you an email. You know, but yeah, we've been testing, we've been honing, we've been doing stuff. So if I can't show you some stuff, I'll definitely be able to announce some stuff. So that's going to be cool for the next Big Bagger meeting, along with just the normal conversation. Well, that's what you have to look forward to. Also, Big Baggers, do me a favor. Shoot me your agenda suggestions for the next meeting, please. Did I miss anything? Segwit made transactions cheaper. I don't understand. Is it faster due to reduced block times? Possibly. Can you move 63 cents on BTC? Now you'll have... No, I'm not going to have you shilling. But yes, you can. Here's the real... But again, what does BSV do better than another? Because I can use Cardano to do that. I can use Pol to do that. I can use Ethereum to do. There's so many other. I can use Algo to do that. There are so many other coins out there, so many other projects out there that I can do that with. What does BSV do that other coins don't do, or that BSV does better? And what is its coin market cap? What is its rank along with that information? Because normally, I'm going to tell you the truth, and everybody here can attest to it. Normally, I would just walk away from the question. Like I wouldn't, you don't give me that information, I won't even pay attention to it. Because those are the three things that I need. You're new, so I've got to let it. Usually when somebody asks a question, I do let them know, hey, look, these are 3 pieces of information I need to have. And then you have Hutanic that's going to like just pepper you with a whole bunch of other questions to validate a position or whatever it is. So before I can even walk down that road, I need to know those 3 things. Because so far I haven't seen anything out of them that makes me go, ooh, I gotta have it. I gotta have a bag. I haven't seen that. So I would not never, but I'm probably never going to build a slot for BSV when I've got Cardano as a slot, when I've got these other projects as slots. I mean, hold on a second, because this would be interesting to me. This would be very interesting. Control F, BSV. Where is it? I'm just trying to find BSV. There it is. Ranked number 67. And it is one of the coins that I do have on my watch list. But ahead of them, Helium at 65, Maker, Theta Network, Floki, Jupiter, Pith Network, Psi, Bonk, Cosmos, VeChain. I'd rather put my money in VeChain. Hedera. I'll definitely have a bag of Hedera. Very happy with that bag. Thank you very much. Phantom, Injective, Optimism, Celestia, Immutable, Arbitrum, Aave. Absolutely, I would buy Aave before that. Yeah, they do totally different things, but in terms of how I would split my money, this is what I'm thinking. Stacks is before that. Dog with Hat. So looking at BSV and how long it's been on the market, and it got blown away by Toncoin, Sui, all of these other coins blew them away. Couldn't keep up with Monero. Couldn't keep up with BitTensor. I can't. I'm not a fan of Internet Computer at all. ICP is ranked 25. Pepe is ranked number 24. Couldn't keep up with that. If BSV was so good, then how come Shiba Inu is in the top 25 coins and it is not? This is the level that I need to have, right? So I'm not being funny or evil or mean. Don't take it that way. But I'm looking at that coin and I'm looking at these other coins and I'm saying, I can do a lot with Sui. Can I move 63 cents? Yes. Algo? Yes. Cardano? Yes. Cost effective? Probably. Can I do it with XRP? Yes. You want to know what coin absolutely blows you away with that one? Let me just come up with there you go. And where are you? Give me a moment. Coming in at number 30. XLM, Stellar. Stellar would blow you away for that use case. Can I move small amounts of money? Stellar blows you away. Why? Because Stellar is broke away from XRP for a reason. That's the reason. Retail hands. The hands of people that can't otherwise afford stuff. That's where Stellar is at. Peer-to-peer. Not focused on institutions like XRP. So when I look at Stellar, that would be another reason why BSV who? BSV gets respect because it's in the top 250 coins out there, right? But when I compare it to these other coins, I'm like, come on now. What does it have that other coins don't? That other projects don't? I mean, just saying. That's what I'm going to be looking at. It could be bigger block sized. 4 megs on BTC is not much, so that could be the difference. Yeah, that could be the difference. From a technical perspective, you're absolutely right. Thank you, Hutanic. However, how does that compare to all of the coins that I just mentioned and what you could do with each one of those coins? HBAR can be a retail coin. Stellar can be a retail coin, meaning if I was a store, there are going to be coins that I'd be willing to accept. Any one of those. Any one of those. I don't know the current TPS of HBAR. What are they? Better than it. So BSV does microtransactions better than who? Better than who? Algorand? Stellar? They're kind of made for microtransactions. You know that, right? So they do microtransactions better than who by whose measurement? That's what I like. We could go back and forth about that like all day. I mean, not really, because I would just do it with Algo or Stellar and the transaction costs less. Just saying. Let's go back to, so we have 9 votes. Should I do a year-end look back of everything that's happened? 78% say yes. No is 0, except for that one person. We won't name any names, right, Mr. Big? And and other is 22%. 9 votes. 78% say yes. Wow. So, ooh, that's a long conversation about a coin that I have yet to hear a strong use case for. I hear what you're saying. It can do certain things better than other coins, but is it the best at it? And I'm going to say no. You want to know what the added advantage is for Stellar? MoneyGram. If you want to put that out there. Corporate strategy, DYDX and Consensus announce workforce reductions. Kraken lays off staff. Nexo rebrands as a digital assets wealth management platform. I found that to be very interesting. That rebranding. They're trying to make a move that puts them in a bigger space, in a bigger light. So I'm interested to see, well, you had the rebranding, but what are you actually doing? Because right now it just seems like, well, everything's still the same. Could be me. But Nexo still smells like, looks like. You know what I mean? I don't see anything that's actually changed there. But we've had a lot of points. So we published at Grow My Bag. We published 57 articles, just for crypto. 57 articles this week just for crypto. That doesn't include all the stock articles that we have. That's a lot. $1 million transactions per second. Peter D, what's the TPS of HBAR, please, sir? I would be ridiculously interested in how BSV counts that TPS. Because hey, BSV Banton, that's what this community is all about. The whole idea is to invite conversation like that. That is the epitome of why this community exists. Where you can come and you can ask a question, get bombarded with questions, not put downs, not, oh, you must be stupids. None of that. Just why? Why do you think this way? Where do you get your information from? Right? Is that TPS count real? Is that reliable? Because I can tell you now that, who was it? Cardano has been called out for how they count TPS. There was another one that was called out for how they count TPS. Oh, it was Solana. That's right. And their little gremlin. Because it's not just how many transactions per second, but how many transactions that go through, like how many drop transactions do you really have? And that should affect your actual number of transactions. It's the actual number of completed transactions is what it should be. So yeah, I'd be seriously looking at that. But that's what this whole community is about. You could have come out with something that none of us knew about. None of us knew about it. And you have to show, you kind of have to show BSV some respect because it's been around for a long time. 1, 2, it's still in the top 100 coins. I mean, it got slaughtered by some newcomers, but still, it's still in the top 100 coins. You can't be mad about that. Oh, he can't find the transactions per minute for HBAR. Poor dude. And Corners, I'm sorry, I was not ignoring you. Just most of the I did 2 things that were wrong. I was keyed in on the conversations over here, but I had also changed the screen to do research on BSV. What do we think of TIA or TARS AI, number 464, market cap of 63 million? I think very lowly of it. It provides the AI infrastructure for Solana. I think even more lowly of it. Trying not to chase everything, but it looks good. Ranked at number 464 And $63 million, Mr. Big, what are your thoughts on TIA? TIA is Celestia, isn't it? Yeah, TIA is Celestia. Did they use another? Because in this line of work, let's see, TARS TAI is what you meant. TAI is what you meant. Not TIA. TIA is Celestia. Yeah, I don't think highly of them at all. What's the difference between them and Render, Fetch, Singularity, Ocean, the rest of them? What's the difference between what they're doing and what those guys are doing? They supply the infrastructure. That would make me think. Actually, that would make me think lower of them because it's a business and not a coin. Or you know what I mean? Like, are they DPINs? Decentralized infrastructure network, or is it just a business? Are they like a minuscule AWS? Oh, BSV Banton, you had said that, didn't you mention that they did that BSV did a deal with AWS? Somebody mentioned that somebody did a deal with AWS. They didn't do a deal with AWS. They bought compute time. Look at it like that. They bought compute time. No, that's not really a deal. It's not really a partnership. Right? That's like saying my company, well, yeah, I can't use that as an example. I was going to say my partner, my company is a partner of Microsoft because we're hosted on Azure. People could say that's a partnership, but it's not. But we actually are a Microsoft partner. Have to pass tests and all that stuff, do a whole bunch of stuff. We're actually listed in the Microsoft store, like with our own hosting platform. So there's stuff. There's stuff. And Cornish. No, I got you. I don't know. I wouldn't be putting my money in it though. I wouldn't tell my kids to go invest in that. And the reason why I would tell them not to invest in it is because if I'm looking at, artificial intelligence, there's so many other places in terms of crypto itself where I can put my money and be a lot more sure-footed in my decision. If TAI's only claim to fame is going to be that, well, they're on Solana, then I really have a problem because Solana has a network gremlin being compute, heavy on compute time, artificial intelligence is a real time kind of deal, and I don't trust Solana for anything real time. So if you're backing up Solana for something, yeah, I'm not going to trust Solana. That means they're not supplying it to Solana. They're supplying it on Solana, which also tells me that I don't know that I trust the people that, run it. Right. And then so I'd have to do some research on who's involved with the project, where do they come from, all that other good stuff. And I'm kind of like, yeah, you're iffy with that decision for me. That's something else. Doge is a UTXO like BSV. You can use mini ASICs with Doge. Yep. That was my team. They did that. No, they didn't build that, but they were using it. They were using ASICs on Doge. I'm not trying to say BSV is bad. I don't think BSV is bad. I just think there are better opportunities to make money. Remember, we're here to try to figure out how we can grow our bags. So if I'm looking at BSV could be like totally honorable in what they're doing and everything else. Let's just run with they are honorable in what they're doing and how they're doing it. Great. But can I make more money off another project that's doing the same thing as them? Yes. So there's that. That would have me scratching my head. Hey, Chemo Show. So, hey, Joseph Cruz. So, N Cornish, did I answer your question? Or do I need to go deeper into it? Please let me know. But yeah, when I look over 57 articles over the past week just on crypto alone, that's a lot. That's a lot. And we covered 57 points, right? Because they all condense. We bucketize everything first for the Sunday roundup. So when you look backward at this past week, what are you seeing for this coming week? Right? This past week, you want to know what else happened? Excuse me, which didn't get covered in crypto because it's not a crypto thing. I only do a look back for crypto. I did not do a look back for stocks, options, bonds, treasuries, all that stupid stuff, right? But you'd have to look at, well, damn, PCE numbers came in hot and heavy. So that made everybody in the stock market, crypto space cringe because it made everybody go, well, damn, we might not get that 25 basis point cut this go around. There could be a delay. There are already people say this, and you know what's really funny? A lot of the same people that we're talking about, we needed a 50 point basis cut, back in July. Wah. These are the same freaking people that are saying, 50 basis points was too much. We should have just done 25. You see the flip flop that happens. Because the numbers hadn't stopped coming in. We actually didn't, beat inflation. And something else that needs to be constantly said to people is the chance of inflation hitting zero is slim and nil. Can happen mathematically. It can happen, but it's probably not. Prices are going to go up. That's inflation. Okay. It's the rate at which they go up. That's in question, right? We don't need prices going up 7%. Need them going up like 2%. And even then, how does that 2% uptick translate to everybody else? There's that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens, and it makes people stop and go, well, people spending more. The expectation was, 0.3. We got 0.5. And that made everybody stopping. And that's why we had the dip. That made everybody stop and go, whoa, wait a minute. Crap, we might not get that cut. Then jobs came in hot. What was it, 220 or something like that? Makes you go, oh, we actually don't need another rate cut right now. So let's pause on the rate cuts and wait till the next time, which would be next year, to see if we have another one. That is big. That is real big. And there's Stitch. There's Stitchy. He's the office mascot. He's the grow my bag mascot. And he knows it. And he's so cute. And he wants to play, and I'm still doing the show. But I will be closing it out in a couple of minutes. But yeah, so we've had a lot go on over the past week. ASI Lens was good. Not now, Stitchy. Wait. You're going to have to wait and stop scratching my sweater. I just got this. It's one of my favorites now. Because it's got a zipper instead of buttons. So now he's going to be a brat because he wants to play. All righty. Here you go. Go get it. So there's been a lot that's going on. So over the coming week, what other inflationary numbers are we going to get? Who else is left to report? We had a lot of companies doing very well, right? People were like, "Oh, well, tech came down, and that's why Bitcoin came down." No, had nothing to do with tech. Had everything to do with everybody thinking we might not get another basis point cut this year. We might have to wait until next year. That's why everybody froze. So because that would mean that I have to reallocate my money so I can do something with it. So where I thought I was going to put it, I'm going to have to put it someplace else. For me, thank you very much. I woke up and I bought Bitcoin. I've been buying Bitcoin for a little bit. Right? And maneuvering things into the proper wallets because I had left money on a couple of exchanges because I thought I was going to be doing a couple of moves. Luckily, I did not do those moves. So I put those back to where they need to be. And if I need to do something new, well, I'll just on-ramp some more money. Right? And you want to know what's really cool? I'm not a spring chicken, as you can tell by the white hair. My mom went out and bought her own Bitcoin for the first time. I've sent her coin, but this is the first time that on her own, she bought Bitcoin. And she was so elated. So how cool is that? That, I'm no spring chicken. My mother, she's only 21 plus. She's a young thing, but that's mad cool. That's mad cool. Now you know why I'm not playing with you when I tell you guys I have to watch my mouth because I will get a talking to from my mom. It's like a virtual, because we do video conference calls every day, so we can keep in touch because she lives in a different state. She will virtually grab my ear and be like, "What'd you say?" So, but yeah, it's mad cool. Thank you, Ham's house. It is mad cool that my mother, was all about getting her crypto, and what was really cool is that my mother does listen to the show. She probably listens to it more than she tells me, but she listens to it and she knows it. And she was like, yes, and I have my DCA plan. This is my schedule for buying more. And I just sat there and I was like giddy. I was that little boy giddy, listening to my mother talk about what she's doing based off of what I have taught her. And share with you guys. So yeah, that mad cool. So news for me over the past week, that has been the biggest news. The biggest news. Other news that we got, Joaquin was like, "Yo, the book, the tracker, the community has led him to make more solid and educated decisions in growing his bag." Captain Banana coming out and letting us know, hey, like what you're doing. That, like, just everybody reaching out and saying, I was able to do this. I was able to do this. I was able to. It's mad cool because that's not a reflection upon me. That's a reflection upon the community. Again, that's why we exist. So if you're new to the community today, welcome to Grow My Bag. We are proud to have you. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, smash the likes. We need more likes. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much. Lit Mama got her ish together. That's pretty cool. I want to get my mom on crypto like that. Have her join the community, man. Have her join the community. It's an open community. We try to get everybody involved and listen to things and do things. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for your time today. I'm going to go relax for the rest of the day. And, let me get back to this poll real quick. We can end the poll. 11 votes. 73% say yes, no, 0%, and other 27%. I know you want to play. Dude, the sweater. Do you mind? The sweater. Get your little paw off the sweater. Little paw off the sweater. You want to play with this. This is his little toy. You want this? All right, go get it. There you go. Holy moly.